What up, this is Rama Screen covering movies, TV, and entertainment, and here's my review of Thor Ragnarok. Let's rock this. Well, we all knew one of these days Marvel Studios' marathon of successes would hit the wall. By the way, I'm using a metaphor that long-distance runners could understand. After all, Marvel can't keep going on a high note the entire time. Thor Ragnarok is like a Saturday Night Live parody of its own self. I don't mind movies that don't take themselves too seriously, but this one doesn't take much of anything seriously. It's dull, it's ridiculous, it's downright boring. If you thought Thor and Thor the Dark World were snoozers, wait till you get a load of Thor Ragnarok. The only decent thing about this movie is its use of Led Zeppelin Immigrant Song, directed by Taika Waititi. In Thor Ragnarok, Thor gets thrown out from Asgard by the new powerful ruthless threat, Hela, played by Cate Blanchett. Imprisoned in a strange planet, Thor is forced to fight in a deadly gladiatorial contest that pits him against his former fellow Avenger, the Incredible Hulk. All the while, the mighty god of thunder is without his mighty hammer and must find a way to return home to stop the destruction of Asgard, or as it is called, Ragnarok. First up, let's go through some of this film's redeeming qualities. This is the first time in a long time that we see Hulk do more than just serving as an attack dog. And for those of us who've been wishing for Marvel to make another Hulk solo movie, this is probably as good as it gets. I do find Hulk vs. Thor fight quite entertaining. It's smashing fun, and it was wise for Marvel to milk that part in the trailers and the previews because it definitely is the most anticipated part of the entire film, rightfully so. And now on to everything that I basically dislike about this film. Listen, I'm a huge fan of Taika Waititi's previous films. That Hunt for the Wilder People was hilarious. So I understand that he was brought in by Marvel to infuse this franchise with comedic sensibilities. But unfortunately, it goes overdose. Thor Ragnarok becomes such a full-blown comedy, so much so that everything becomes like some sort of a running gag or a string of gimmicks. Cate Blanchett is remarkably sexy as the villain Hela. But even she falls victim into this film's tragic effort of throwing all kinds of jokes against the wall, hoping one of them would stick. So you don't get a good sense of her character's danger, because anytime that she's about to do something sinister, it breaks into some kind of a joke or a punchline that falls flat. To make things worse, this film's brand of humor is probably the kind that only the writers and the filmmakers and the actors would totally get. Only they would find it funny. Only they would be laughing. But there's clearly a disconnect because audiences aren't laughing. And none of those actors have sharp comedic timing too, so it's really painful watching them try. Listen, comedy worked well with Ant-Man because it was the first Ant-Man movie right off the bat, and that was the tone designed for that film and for that character from the get-go. The first Thor movie was not designed that way. Neither was Thor the Dark World, which, I remind you, was terribly done. Nothing about that installment is memorable, even to this day. So to change a character like Thor from somebody who speaks in a Shakespearean style into somebody who's bumbling and uncertain and full of missteps, for such a drastic change of character like that to happen in this third installment is a complete turnoff. You end up not caring about him, you end up not caring about the villain, you end up not caring about the story, and you find yourself bored out of your mind looking at your wristwatch every 5 minutes or so, hoping for some real Ragnarok to give you that sweet release from this agony. It's really sad because the whole thing does feel like Marvel just wanted to present another arc to Thor's mythology without taking into consideration whether or not the fans wanted this particular arc to exist. So that's my review of Thor Ragnarok, a movie that I find hugely disappointing. Share your thoughts in the comments section below, and please subscribe to my channel. And if you like my channel, and if you like all the videos here, and if you want me to make more, please support me at patreon.com/ramascreen. There's all kinds of rewards for you there for all kinds of levels. So go to patreon.com/ramascreen today and become my patrons. Let's rock this.